Sorry, buddy. Spawning here in the top left. Our blue Terran player, this is his last hope. He has to win from here on out. From team rival, it is Doc. And his opponent in the bottom right. Bottom right. In orange from CTsix. Just needs one more game. It's Guluheend. Alright, so, once again, well, this is another interesting map that could work for proxies if Guluheend wanted to do that. We already saw he tried a 2-Rex Reaper build. It was responsible for his only loss, however. No, I doubt he'll do that. Looks like he was going to go gas first again. Is making sure he was able to get that SCV out before he made the gas there. It's always possible that you can build the gas and build the SCV if you're careful, but just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to get delayed on that 11th SCV. So this gas first build has definitely been working out for Guluheend, and Doc once again just going for his normal 12 racks, probably 15 gas. Both players choosing to stick with what works, except for Doc, it's not working too well for him really. We'll have to wait and see what he decides to do, what he's able to do in this game. SCV is rallied all the way across the map, so he will not be proxying anything. Same for Doc's SCV. He's just going to get in, and he's going to see, well, the same exact thing. Again, I don't know. I feel like if Doc he needs to mix it up somehow. That's about it. Because what he's been doing hasn't been working out too great for him. Barracks finishes up for Guluheend, and he's starting his orbital command here in just a second. And imagine a factory as well. There we go, factory on the way. Doc attempting to block that off for just a second. 2 SCVs pulled to deal with the annoying scout SCV from Doc. But again, just being a little bit of annoyance. So a waste of APM from Guluheend. Doesn't require too much from Doc's part. And it really is an annoyance for Guluheend. So behind this, Guluheend isn't able to harass because the Marine was here. The Marine does actually get the kill on the SCV even, so no harassment there available. Raptor coming down on the barracks, no surprise there. CC will be next. And Doc's just going to go into his normal game. No tech lab on the barracks this time from Guluheend. So he will not going for that immediate starport. But he still will be able to go for the tech lab off of the factory whenever he wants, or probably just the tech lab off the barracks once it finishes this Marine here. So pretty much the same Banshee-centric style every single game from Guluheend, and actually, well, he's going to mix it up. There's no second gas taken. Starport's just about to finish here. He could be going for a medevac drop. This is a decent map to do it on, because you can get out pretty easily. There's a lot of space back here. And you can just wait back there for your boost, and then just boost past the side here and get out without dying. Or even, I'm pretty sure you can just get off this way too. But either way, it's a nice little... It's a nice idea. There we go. Starport on the way. And given that he has gone for a Banshee every single game, we have seen 4 games from Guluheend. He's gone for Banshee every single one of them. That's definitely going to be the plan for Doc to defend off of. There's no reason really for him to defend off of for anything else. He's just going to worry about Banshees. That's been his bane of existence. And Guluheend's going to try something else this game. A few different possibilities for Guluheend. He could pick up, looks like he's going to pick up the Hellions. No, never mind. He's going to go pick up Marines and then the Hellions, or bring the Hellions around. He's probably just going to try to run the Hellions into the main from the natural while doing the drop from the side. And this has the potential to do a whole lot of damage because there really ain't too much to defend this off. There's a lot of naked Marines. There is a Widowmine that just burrowed. The Widowmine could do a lot of damage, especially if the medevac actually flies over it, but that may not be the case. And honestly, the medevac may just be for a quicker boost across. Looks like he's going to try to elevator in. This little ledge is seen by Doc, however, so the elevator isn't going to come as a huge surprise. He does see it. He is moving his Marines in position. He's even repositioning his Widowmine to deal with this if he can. But the Hellions are here now. This is a pretty even army minus the medevac here. Doc did pull his SCVs immediately. Where's the Widowmine? The Widowmine is not in actual position, but Viking pops out at a wonderful time for Doc. Kills off that medevac, and that push did, well, it didn't do nearly enough. 4 workers were killed, which is nice. But Doc has 2 command centers. The second command center is not finished. It's only about 76% done here for Guluheend. So once again, Guluheend tries something that isn't Banshees, and it does not go very well for him. Widowmine did not even do anything that in that engagement. So despite getting that Widowmine up for the possibility of sniping off that medevac immediately, it actually didn't do anything. So Guluheend once again just getting to his normal playstyle. It's going to get that bile rolling. But it seems that Guluheend's bile playstyle relies on doing early damage to his opponent. If he's unable to do that early damage, he's pretty much been unable to, well, win. Of course, he's only lost 1 game, so it's difficult to say he's unable to win. That's c'est la vie. Doc going for a really quick 3rd command center now, actually. I'm not sure if that's just a response to having too much money and not enough production, or it's what he wants to do. He's definitely going to want to get that gas eventually, pretty quickly, since he is going for this mech playstyle. And hope for this game he'd be able to get up some more tanks a little bit quicker than he did last game. It took him a long time to get any bit of a tank count up. Had he had a few more tanks a lot earlier in the game, last game would have gone a little bit differently maybe. As it stands, he's just still trying to set up his normal kind of play. Wouldn't mind a few Hellions over here. I don't think it's going to be able to do too much. Widowmine isn't going to be seen. He may just be trying to bait, try to bait some units out. And since this is a pretty normal location for units to go through, Widowmine shot would be extremely annoying. It looks like Guluheend's going to break out the backside of his rocks and maybe take the more forward 3rd base, rather than trying to take the 3rd that is tucked in back here. A little bit more difficult to defend maybe for a bio player versus mech. He may just try to go for this more direct route through here. Again, this is such an awkward map to defend your natural base, because if you're either way you take a 3rd, if you take a 3rd down here, that means you're open for run-bys on this side. And if you take the 3rd over on this location, you're open for run-bys on this side. So Guluheend has some decisions to make in that regard for sure. Doc is eventually setting up his infrastructure here. He's getting up to 3 factories. He's going to be adding in a 4th one, I imagine. On this reactor, yeah, looks like he's coming really, really heavily into these Hellions, rather Hellbats, I'd assume eventually. It's still just a bunch of minerals being thrown into these units here. Adding on yet another factory, so going up to a total of 5. Maybe 3 with tech labs, 2 with reactors, so that's going to be a pretty massive amount of production for Doc if he's able to get it up. He is only on 45 workers despite this earlier 2nd command center, despite the earlier 3rd command center as well. So he should have a nice lead in that regard, but he's probably been missing a few SCVs or just a little bit more supply blocked than Guluheend has been getting. And speaking of, both players are actually pretty supply blocked right now. Neither player... Okay, yes, there's 3 depots on the way for Guluheend. He's actually walling off this natural here, so... he did not want to be surprised by some sort of breakthrough and run-by with Hellions later on. Guluheend taking his 3rd base here. Actually kind of surprising that Doc has never taken his 3rd base yet. There is a Marine down here for Guluheend spotting this. Wanted to make sure he sees it coming, but it has not actually happened just yet. I know there's an armory somewhere. Isn't there? No, I guess not. There's no armory! Doc, once again, no army for Doc. Kind of a rough situation. It's not having upgrades is a bit of a bad thing. He's got a really powerful army, but he's got no upgrades on it, really. And he's really sitting on just a ton of Hellions. Yeah, that's nice, but not when your opponent has a bunch of tanks. That Widowmine did actually go off and did a little bit of damage. May have gotten the kill on one of the Marines. That's a bit of an annoyance, but Hellion's going to run directly into a bunch of tank fire. There's not too many SCVs actually here to deal with, actually to get much damage done. And I don't think Doc really got anything done there. He may have killed a couple SCVs, but that was really it. He lost a lot more than he really gained. And Guluheend's now going to make sure he walls off both sides here. He's going to finish walling off here in just a second. Words are hard. Doc getting +1 here. He's starting to get a good amount of units up. He actually had to remove one of his factories because he couldn't get out, but he's just going to leave that tank here for any potential drops later on in the game, it seems. I guess he may as well. A little bit of an annoyance. His SimCity just too good. Didn't want to move things. But his 5 factories are up now. His production is starting to ramp up a little bit. Still pretty far behind in upgrades right now. Only +1 on the way. Not even a second. Armory is down for Doc, which is kind of frightening. Once again, if this upgrade situation gets out of hand in favor of Guluheend, especially since Guluheend, I mean, it's not like he has a low amount of tanks. He's got 7 tanks. The meching player only has 4. Granted, there are 25 Hellions down. That one just died over here on the right side. That's still a pretty scary army for Guluheend. 95 army supply to 91, just barely in favor of our meching player, but still so many of those are in Hellions. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he wants to have at the moment. He's definitely going to he's going to set up in a really nice defensive position and kind of spoon this game out for a little while, but Guluheend's going to set up 2 armies. He's got 1 army on the left, he's got 1 army on the right. These Hellions are going to run directly into the left army, so he will know that that is over there, which is a nice little bit of information for Doc to have. +1/+1 has finished up here for Guluheend. Looks like he's not. He's going to kind of abandon that attempt on that side. And now he's going to go over on the right side and see what he can get done. There's already a few turrets over here. There's some tanks set up on the right side as well. And Doc isn't really spread. He's not bunching all of his army in one location right now. Most of his army is completely split up, so both players are trying to play with basically 2 armies at a time right now and see what they can do. Guluheend looks like he's going to wait for 2-2 to finish up before he tries to do any sort of attacking here. Getting his 4th base on the way. He's just setting himself up very nicely. Both players looking to go for a really late game right now. Second army has finished up for Doc. He's starting to add in a bunch of turrets, adding in some Citro towers as well. So he's going to see absolutely everything coming in. This is definitely not what we want to deal with as a bio player against a mech Terran. This has a chance to last a very long time. Doc is actually going to start getting rid of some supply here with these Marines. They're pretty useless. Just wants to scout out, see what's going on, see if he can find something and kill it off. Maybe he's going to run into a Viking, which is nice. We'll take that out. And actually, he's going to run a drop directly into the army, so he's going to see where that is. Sadly, he does lose the drop. He does lose the 2 Hellbats, but that's not a huge deal. But now he knows the bulk of the army is on the right side, and I think that kind of sparked Doc to realize that he's going to try to do what he can with some, what is it called, Hellions. He's just running this all around, just looking for bases right now. Actually, he's going to run in with these Marines are just unchecked on the right side here. You could go with Marines and actually kill some units, which would be hilarious. Hellions are going to get caught off by the rest of the main army here for Guluheend, but not before. Well, there's a tank up here on the high ground. However, a bunch of Hellions right on top of this tank, turning into Hellbats. You're going to be able to kill this tank off pretty quickly. So nice pickup there for Guluheend, for Doc. It's going to force Guluheend to probably leave another tank back home, because those run-bys are definitely going to be an issue. This is a very powerful army here for Doc. Still very low on the upgrades. Only +1 finished for Doc right now. He's got +1 for the army. That's just about to finish up. +2 on the way. I imagine he'll have +2 for the armor on the way as soon as that finishes up. But a big army is rolling in from the right side. Not nearly big enough, really. Tanks do siege up, and most of the army is going to be joining for Guluheend. But he's going to try to fight on 2 fronts here. Didn't really work for Hitler. But it might work for Guluheend. This is pretty much what you have to do as a Terran player. I just dropped the Hitler reference. Why? No. There's only 1 tank here at the natural. If these rocks get broken down, this tank is going to get destroyed immediately. This is going to be up to Doc to figure out how to defend against this. He is really low on tanks right now. He does have, okay, I'd say low on tanks. He's got 16. 2 more just popped, 3 more just popped. He actually has 3 in the main base, so this run by is actually do a lot less damage than I expected it to. A little bit of a drop, it seems. Or no, it's just a take fire. But Guluheend trying to drop on top of this tank army. Doesn't really clean too much up. He lost a lot of his army there. He is able to reproduce pretty easily. 3 Marines, 3 Marauders at a time, 2 tanks at a time as well. Would like to see, well, a lot more barracks coming up, but now starts the air transition. We've got battlecruisers on the way eventually. Doc running in with some Hellbats, going to drop directly on top of these tanks. Going to get a few kills there. A few tanks still left over, but the rest of these are going to be cleaned up eventually. Both players trading blows right now, but the army count right now is definitely vastly in the favor of Doc. 91, so army supply is 63. But again, Guluheend is starting to switch over into air. There are a couple Thors. I think there's at least one. There's at least one Thor, but there are already a good amount of Vikings out. Already 9 Vikings right now for Doc. He has a Raven as well. There's just 11 Vikings, and there's a couple more Samurai I don't see. A little bit of a Marine drop got put down over here at the third base, but I don't think Doc is too worried about losing some SCVs at this point of the game. Probably okay with that, given he has some extra command centers rolling around wherever you look. This is kind of going to turn into an air versus air game, slowly but surely. Guluheend trying to set up some auxiliary bases. Guluheend has been generally faster taking extra bases, so that's definitely going to come in his favor eventually. His economy is going to be rolling up a little bit quicker, especially this gas. Trying to go for this air switch. And this air switch isn't scouted out, it doesn't seem. I doubt it. But, you know, Doc should or could kind of expect this. Right now, Doc's supply is not raising, which is kind of frightening. I'm not necessarily sure why he's not building anything right now. He doesn't have much gas, but it's no reason not to build any units. Yeah. Doc's just not building units right now. There we go. 7 Hellions in production now. 7 Hellions aren't going to be able to do too much against battle cruisers. How many battle cruisers are right now? Only 0. There's 3 in production, though. Well, there's a lot of tanks up there. I'm not going to run into that, really. But I think Guluheend is going to be content to eventually just switch this over into his air. He's going to take out what do you take out? Central Tower, turret? I'm not sure. One of the two. Now there's way too many tanks for Guluheend to try to run into. He's not even going to bother. That's a lot of Vikings still. That is still a good amount of Vikings right now. We have 15 Vikings, 2 Ravens versus 3 battlecruisers and 9 Vikings right now. Upgrades, we do have +2 done for the mech army of Guluheend. +2, +1 is finished for the mech army of Doc, so slight advantage there. And I think Guluheend's just going to switch over into mech himself. He doesn't have a second armory on the way. It doesn't seem. He's just relying on the 1. He's about to have +3 for his armory, or for his mech units, which is a pretty big deal. And he's just continued to add on a bunch of Vikings and battlecruisers. This is quite the tech switch. It's going to do a lot of damage, especially unscouted. Doc does have a pretty hefty air force right now, but he's still so heavily invested into these Hellions, into the tanks, into, well, not much that actually shoots up. He's actually starting to add in some more Banshees, and again, Banshee's not at all what he wants to have. He's expecting, I guess he's expecting Guluheend to stay on this bio force, this tank and marauder force that's kind of heavily used against mech as a bio player, not expecting to actually see a transition into this air. Doc has not seen anything for a very, very, very long time, especially in this back area. Guluheend's starting to add on Ravens as well. This might get a little scary here. There we go. Finally, Doc does see that these battlecruisers are a big deal. The model cannon's going to go down on the turrets. Turrets die off really, really quickly. I'm not sure. I don't think Guluheend wants to really attack into this. He's probably going to wait for a little bit more of his army. Wait for his Ravens to join this fight so he can throw down some PDDs. But at this point, I would have to give the air advantage to our not actual mech player. He's got 3 battlecruisers, 16 Vikings, 3 Ravens. Raven count's even. Viking count's just about even. Doc doesn't have any battlecruisers. Another little bit of a force moving over to the right side, but there is a planetary here. It's going to be a bit of an annoyance. Even what is that? PDD's going down over there, dealing with that force, but the CC does fall. That planetary does fall. At the same time, all these Vikings rolling on into a turret. Well, turret, good unit, I suppose. Air Army versus Air Army is kind of a strange little battle to have. Another Seeker missile goes down on, well, nothing. Seeker was not able to actually go off. And yeah, Guluheend doing what he can, adding on 3 more battlecruisers at a time, as well as 2 Vikings. He is going all out for this air. And without any battlecruisers of his own on Doc's side, this may not... No, this is going to be kind of scary. He may need to supplement this with some Thors, or some Window Mines even, at this point. His air count is definitely decreasing in power. Another run-by coming up with just a bunch of bio, and these run-bys are definitely going to be an issue for Doc to deal with. There is a couple tanks left over, but more and more, well, more and more SCV is going to fall. PD was saving a few of them. Yeah, I doubt Doc cares too much about losing some SCVs at this point of the game, but it's just a matter of if Guluheend's able to get into the production with one of these run-bys, it's going to be a big deal. Almost all the production is up there. A couple starports are down near the third base. But beyond that, there isn't too much in the way of production outside of the main. Doc with a ton of tanks, but the tanks are pretty much dead weight at this point of the game. Guluheend does have a lot of bio, but I think he's using this bio mostly for these run-bys. He's not using it for really much of anything else. There's a bunch of SAVs kind of derping around right now. I'm not sure that... I doubt Guluheend even can see this. Actually, I think he's repairing. What do I say? Yeah, those are probably repairing, yeah. They are on auto repair. They just didn't look like they were doing anything decent. 6 battlecruisers now. 20 Vikings, 2 Ravens here, 4 Guluheend. He's just continually getting rid of SCVs. Actually, no, I'm not. No, he's not. He's just adding on some turrets. Both players adding in turrets. Splitting up this map into 2. There's 2 tanks over this side. Another run-by for Guluheend. This kind of awkward turrets are making this a little bit more difficult, but now there's nothing really to defend this. He's being forced to pull back some of his actual army, and most of his actual army cannot fight what is over here for Guluheend. Guluheend getting some more worker kills. I know Doc doesn't need many SCVs at this point in the game, but he wants more than what he has right now. This Bioforce actually probably just move down and try to get what they can done. They're kind of forfeit at the moment. A few more tanks on a roll on in. A PDD goes down to deal with that as well. Another turret falls. And this is just kind of removing supply from the game to make into more air units. This is a heck of a last game here, I must say. Guluheend finally starting to add in some sensor towers of his own here. Actually going to push forward with his battlecruisers. Take out some turrets. Actually look like he's going to try to take out most of the air army. Lots of Seekers going down on the battlecruisers. Are the battlecruisers going to be able to get out of that? No, they are not. Seekers go down on the BCs. Ton of Vikings just evaporated there. A lot of the army just died for Guluheend. He still has 2 battlecruisers. That's nice, but that is a lot of Ravens left over. They don't have a lot of energy. At least 1 Seeker is remaining. And all of these Vikings, 30 Vikings right now to 12. Seeker missiles just saved the day completely here for Doc. Guluheend trying to switch back into bio at this point, making 17 Marines at a time, actually adding in some Thors as well. That is going to be wonderful against all of these Vikings, since there's not much of a ground force for Doc. Doc is falling prey to the massive tech switches that you usually see in like a PVT or a ZV, anything, just not a TVT most of the time. This base is definitely going to die over here for Guluheend, so that's going to be a loss. Not too troublesome, since he's kept mining at a minimum over at this location. He's going to try to stem in and kill a few more tanks with R3 there, as well as a PDD, so that's not going to happen. Guluheend trying to get another Bioforce up, but he's got no medevacs right now. That is a kind of another bit of an issue. 0 medevacs with 32 Marines and 3 Marauders. And now, wow. That is a rather large force of units. That's 3 pages of a mech army, and most of that is in all of these Vikings. Sadly, 4 Vikings aren't really going to be able to do too much. Well, what was that? I think there's some Banshees in here. Actually, I can't even... There's so much there, I can't actually see anything. There are 4 Banshees. Where are the Banshees? There are a few Banshees with the army. There's only 2 with the army. Most of them are not with the actual army. Some of this army is getting caught out in the middle of nowhere, however. That's a lot of Ravens over here. There's got 9 Ravens, and most of them have pretty much full energy, as well as all of this bio. 1 Thor gonna get taken out pretty quickly. Oh, good lord. This Viking cloud is absolutely ridiculous right now. Well, PDDs are a really, really good unit. Let's go with that. A lot of Seeker missiles going down, but Doc wonderfully micro there. He just moves those, the Vikings that were targeted forward. And Doc is starting to take a lead somewhat. This unit count is really, really ridiculous right now. 12 tanks, 22 Vikings, 3 Banshees, 4 Ravens here, 4 Doc. It's 3 Ravens, 7 Marines, 10 Marauders, 11 Vikings, and 2 Thors. The air army is completely dead here for Guluheend. He's trying to switch completely over into bio, trying to make a ton of Vikings as he can, but This is still just a little bit rough. Another Banshee gotta die here for Doc. And Guluheend has taken a supply lead. He's actually taken an army lead somehow. I'm really, really confused how this has happened. Doc has actually started Behemoth Raptor and the Research Weapon Rift, or the Weapon Rift as well, to get BCs of his own. There isn't much actually here for Doc. There's only this single tank. All of this air army, once again, is just pretty much useless. There are 2 planetaries right now. He doesn't really want to fight into that, especially not at this location. Not at this stage of the game. He does not need to fight against that. He just needs to find a way to get into this. Guluheend actually going into Widow Mines even. And his ability to reproduce is just so much better than Doc's right now. Doc, that his inability to actually, well, where are all of his, well, I want to say that this orbital isn't hotkeyed. Take a wild guess. It's at full energy, like every other orbital. Actually, this orbital is at full energy too. Really needs to drop the Mule Hammer over here. He's got such a small amount of minerals. He's got a good amount of gas still, but not many minerals. Good lord. This game is pretty freaking ridiculous. Let's go with that. Okay. Sorry, I'm confused by chat. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, Guluheend gonna still trying to push into this base here. There are 2 planetaries here as well as some tanks. He does not really want to go into that. There are some Widow Mines down here. If he can draw all of the Vikings on top of it, that'd be pretty hilarious. I don't think it's gonna happen. Another rallying force going over to the right. Just want to make sure I'm live still, because y'all are making it sound like I'm not live, which is really frightening for this game. No, I'm still live. I'm still live, no problem. Guluheend gonna take Doc's base, and eventually Doc is gonna mine out, and he's not gonna be able to deal with this. Another tank gonna die here. Just getting whittled down. Doc is just getting completely whittled down. He's not sure what to make. He's making tanks and BCs right now to try to deal with this. If he's able to get the BC count up, he's gonna be able to take this game, I think. But I don't know if he's gonna be able to actually get there. Planetaries are doing so much work right now. This planetary might survive, and he's gonna kill most of the bio. Producing capability right now of Guluheend is absolutely ridiculous. 144 army supply to 120 here in favor of our Orange Terran player. He's got a pretty big lead right now. 3 Thors, 10 Vikings, 3 tanks, 11 Marauders, 51 Marines, still no medevacs. He even has 5 Widow Mines to supplement this army. And it looks like he's going to be trying to go into the production. If he gets on top of the production, it'd be absolutely ridiculous. But there are 3 tanks sitting back here for Doc, as well as his planetary fortress. This is going to be a very, very difficult location for Guluheend to actually break through. Holy crap, this game. It's pretty great. Looks like Guluheend is going to, once again, try to set himself up into 2 different armies to try to deal with the situation. Most of the army is on the right side here for Doc. There's not much back home, but this is an extremely tight choke he's going to have to fight into to get through here. 3 tanks, planetary, yeah, that's not going to be working out too well. Tanks are showing way over here at this, well, 5th base, I think, technically for Doc. And actually, he's going to be able to take air control over here for a little bit. He's going to move in with his bio, take out these 2 tanks, and probably jump on out of there. Or he could just take out this, he could focus the CSE down, which would be a big, big loss there. Looks like, I don't know, Doc may be losing part of this game here. Widow Mine's going to get on top of all of this. I think one of them died before anything actually happened. Another Widow Mine shot went off on a Hellbat, so that was fairly useless. 4 BCs do survive, and a lot of Vikings do survive as well. A couple of these Widow Mines are still here. Yeah. Guluheend just trying to find a way to engage into this. It's so difficult. Both players are basically maxing out on every single upgrade possible right now. Oh, that's a lot of Marines on top of a lot of these BCs. DPS is just not quite there. Is it there or not? I can't really tell. Not enough BCs are dying out. BCs last so long. 333 on those. Good lord, those are hefty. Those are some beefy units. I don't think any of those BCs actually died off there. Yeah, okay. Doc has lost 1 battlecruiser so far. Another big stem going forward. He's going to take out this base. Going to take out the CC, and lifting the CC. Going to try to save it, but he's lost a mining base. He's stopped production on this command center as well. Well, Guluheend, they're both just throwing away so much. Another army over on this side for Guluheend. Again, he just cannot get up here. There's no way he can get up here. However, he can stop all of the mining, which he has basically done at this point. The income tab right now is vastly in favor of Guluheend, especially the gas count. Gas is definitely what matters at this point of the game. Both players, they don't have much in the minerals. There's not many minerals left on the map. There's a pretty hefty amount over at this base. Still a decent amount over on this base as well. Middle bases, well, this one's just about completely mined out. Guluheend trying to push in once again. Gonna take out a tank, maybe. Actually, he doesn't focus it down. Barely just not kill that tank. 24 kills in that tank. That's a baller. How many kills does this planter? This planter has 12 kills. So this is all that's left on the map for minerals. Just trying to select all these. It looks like there's a lot, but really there's nothing. There's basically nothing. This game is about to be mined out, especially if folks decide to start using mules, but a bunch of Yamatos going down. Thor's just melting to Yamatos. This looks like it might be Doc's last stand, and he is doing a ton of work here, killing off most of the army of Guluheend. He may have just broken through this. There's a ton of battlecruisers left over right now, and there's no response for the battlecruisers. Guluheend has absolutely no response to battlecruisers. He cannot produce nearly enough to actually fend this off. Eventually, Doc will be able to take out everything that Guluheend has. And I think this is the slow march to death. Guluheend, valiant effort. He was behind really, really early in this game and has managed to actually keep it going for a long time. He's trying to produce Ravens. He's trying to produce some Vikings as well. I don't know. I don't know how you take out that many battlecruisers when they have 3-3. There's not really much that Guluheend can do at this point. 181 supply to 98, 146 army supply to 66 right now. Well, Guluheend going for Ravens. He's going heavy on the Ravens right now. He's got a lot of gas. He has been able to mine a lot more than his opponent. So he is trying to switch into Ravens. If he's able to get enough up, he will be able to do something against the battlecruisers. But now Guluheend is going to lose this mining base, going to lose basically his entire income. Yeah, this is actually the last bit of mining here for Guluheend. Well, okay, so there's two tiny little patches here, one tiny little patch here. That's all there really is. Once this money is gone, the money is gone for Guluheend. He's going to take out what he can. He's actually got a lot of dead weight in Marauder's rut now. Marauders aren't going to do anything against 16 battlecruisers, 2 more still in production. Doc has completely switched this game over into battlecruisers. This is absolutely hilarious. This is a wonderful game, I must say. Now Doc has finally taken over this base down here. He's got a bunch of mules he can drop as well. He's not quite doing it though. I guess he doesn't want to mule out. Guluheend's production is completely stunted. He's actually got no minerals. What's this income tab? Yeah, 100 minerals per minute. 300 gas per minute. So basically nothing. I think the last mineral patch is about to run out here. Okay. He's long distance mining over here. He's going to full 60 over there, but now we got all the BCs running over. Now we're up to 17 battlecruisers. 17 battlecruisers against, we have 12 Vikings and 8 Ravens. Guluheend's going to try to set up some sort of flank with this, I think, and see what he can do. I don't know. I do not know. If he can kill all the battlecruisers, he'll win, but even if he does kill all the battlecruisers, there's going to be a ton of Hellbats to deal with in the resupply from Doc. I'm not sure he doesn't necessarily want to engage directly right now. Guluheend's going to lose yet another command center. Turret's doing a little bit of work. Every little bit of damage does count. Ravens are coming in. Are they seen? Doc sees this coming. He sees the Vikings coming from the left side. He sees the Ravens coming from the left side as well. This is going to be definitely the last engagement. Secret Missile's going down, but once again, Doc he's running away from the Secrets. He's running the battlecruisers into the wrong locations that Guluheend wants, and that does not do nearly enough damage. And that is definitely going to be it. Doc, he's going to take this marathon of a game. We're at 50 minutes almost. And he still has 16 battlecruisers left over right now. He's able to clean up the rest of this air army. It's just a matter of time now before Guluheend taps out. There we go. GG. Holy fucking shit. Nothing else I can say besides that, honestly.